Hey everybody, I'm Amy.
I'm Dan.
And we are the Hustle Couple coming at you today with how to measure everything in your reselling business. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa, did you plan that? We have three
just
different
instantaneously grabbed it.
measuring utensils right
Yes.
here.
First off, let me welcome all the new people. If
Hi.
you're joining us for the first time, welcome to our channel. We are full-time resellers from Dallas, Texas. And we put out daily content showing you everything from what's sold to stuff we're buying to how we pack and ship and everything else.
Today we are going to focus in on how to measure clothing.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of requests for this video. We're happy to do it. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty and the measurements that we provide our customers. On every listing, we put measurements. Every piece of clothing has measurements on it, some more than others. So we're going to go through men's clothing and women's clothing.
Yep.
I wanted to start by showing you what I use for costumes. I'm a costume designer, if you didn't know. This is the sheet that I normally fill out.
Whoa.
It's crazy town, right? There's so many measurements. And these measurements are important, but not essential for every piece of clothing. If you filled this out for every piece of clothing, can you imagine?
It would take you all day.
Right. So we're going to tell you today the key measurements, and then you may have to go back if a customer asks a question about a certain measurement, if their body has something that they're worried about.
Right.
So we do that. We do measurements a lot. And it's like part of the job. Yay!
Yay! All right, so we're gonna show you our shipping measuring setup that we have here, and I mean the only thing you really need is some sort of ruler or a tape measure
and a flat surface.
Right.
You can't do this without a flat surface.
No,
you can't do it on a hanger. You can't do it hanging on the wall.
Nope.
Where you're doing your photos. Some people I see measuring it hanging on a hanger.
Not accurate. Don't do that.
Don't do it. Gotta get you a flat surface. Okay, here we go.
All right. All right, we've got the camera adjusted a little bit so you can see our flat surface here. And like I said, all you need is a ruler of some kind.
Wait, there's a hack. There's a hot tip here.
Sure.
The hot tip is if you have a tape measure, one of these soft ones,
Yep.
tape it to the table.
Yes.
It won't help you in all measurements, but for a lot of times, rather than being like, excuse me, come in, you just hold the clothing up to the table, tape it so that every table we have in this room has a tape measure taped to it.
Yes.
Over at my desk here, any flat surface has a tape measure. We're ready to go. If you need to measure a chest really quickly, you can lay it on the edge of the table here.
Yep.
We also use this a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
And then we use this sometimes.
Right.
This is just a regular.
This is a regular, steel tape measure.
They don't do the same job.
In a pinch.
Yeah.
If you have nothing else, go to the garage and get that.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start with, what do you want to start with?
Menswear. What everyone's here for.
Everybody's favorite.
No, everyone has questions.
This is true.
We're going to do a full suit.
We're doing a full suit, so we're going to start with the jacket. Okay, and I'm sure if people don't sell menswear, that you're not familiar, this is important. So what you want to do,
Oh.
yeah, you want to button the jacket as if somebody was wearing it. So on a 2-button jacket, you want to button the top button only. And on a 3-button, you want to button the center button and or the top button. But
Not the bottom button.
Never the
All
bottom
the buttons
button.
except the bottom.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to smooth it.
You want to lay it down real nice and flat on your surface.
Okay.
Okay. And then you want to take the arms and raise them up.
Raise it up.
Like that. Okay? And then, like I said, flatten it out. Okay? And then you want
First measurement we get is the pit to pit, which is the chest measurement.
Right.
Here we go.
All right, so I put the edge of the tape measure all the way there.
All the way at the edge of the garment.
There, thank you.
I got you.
Okay? And stretch it out to the other side, and all the way it reads 22 inches.
Okay, and it should pretty much be an even number like that. It's going to be a real clear, this is a 22-inch chest, and when you do it around, that means it's a 44.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's right under the armpit. We're not going down in it, nothing. Right directly in the little crevice where the armpit meets the jacket.
Right,
on each
both
side.
sides. Yep. And I hope that that's clear enough from this angle.
Yeah, you might want to slide over a little bit.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
because we are. You're right. And the way I would do this using the tape on the table is I would, you just slide it down right to the edge. And this comes...
It's a little harder to do suits like this,
It
but
is.
t-shirts and stuff, it's great to have it taped to the table.
Yep, going right at 22.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, now the next measurement we get is the waist.
Okay, the waist on a jacket is going to be the most slender spot, which is usually right above the button. Okay? And in most cases, if a suit is what is called classic fit or regular fit, this measurement is going to be 1 inch less than your chest measurement. Okay?
Which was 22.
Right, which was 22. This is reading 20 and a half. So this is a little bit more of a slimmer fit.
So unless it's a custom tailored suit, you're going to have regular increments.
Right.
So if you have like a 3/4 or something and it's not you need to like smooth it out. Make sure it's really good. 20 and a half is perfect. It's always going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you kind of know, because that's these are made from patterns, and patterns need to be standard.
Right. If you measure it right at the button, it's 21. But like I said, the most slender spot is 20 and a half, so I would note that this is slightly slim fit.
Slim fit, right. Yep. Okay, the next measurement we get is the length of the jacket.
Okay. So the length of the jacket, you want to measure from the base of the collar. Okay? You don't want to measure all the way to the top. You measure where it starts here at the base. And so you can do that on the front or the back of the jacket. I don't want to take the extra time to flip it over just to measure it on the back.
You're like a skipping record.
I know.
I don't want.
It's the remix. So I put the edge of my tape right at the seam here where the collar meets the lining. Okay? And then you just measure to the bottom of the back of the jacket, and that comes to 30 and a half inches.
Okay. So a regular size suit or a sport coat between 30 and 30 and a half is regular. Regular.
Yep.
Right? So if it goes beyond that, what would you say is a long?
Anything over 31.
31 and over is a long, and anything below 30 is a short.
Yeah, 29 and a half is short.
And normally the measurements are inside the suit pocket, but just in case you don't have measurements, what would you say this? Since we know the chest measurement and the length now, what would you say this size is?
So the chest measurement was, 22 flat, so that's 44. So it would be a 42 regular.
Okay.
That's going to be my guess.
Yep, and that's what we would put. We would say measurements indicate a 42 regular.
Yep.
So the chest is 44 inches around. You take 2 off in most cases, and that gives you your size.
Correct.
Okay.
And the length designation doesn't refer to the sleeves. Everybody always thinks it's the sleeves. It's not. It's how long the actual jacket is.
Because if you're a taller person, your proportions need to be stretched out. If you're a shorter person, you're petite, they need to be shrunken, and that's the length that you're looking for.
Yep.
Okay, let's do the sleeve length, because that's the next measurement we do.
Okay, and then save the shoulders for last.
Yep.
All right, so
we have to flip it anyway.
That's right. Sleeve length on a jacket.
I'm going to take this off.
Do what you got to do. There you go. You measure from the center of the back. So you start right here in the middle.
Let's show them.
Right here in the center of the back. And you measure, it's a combination of 2 measurements. So you start here and you measure to the shoulder seam. So that's 9.5 inches. Okay? And then you either start your tape at 9.5 or you add 9.5, however you want to do it. I make it real easy. I start my tape at 9.5 inches at the seam.
The shoulder seam.
Shoulder seam, and run the tape all the way to the cuff of the jacket, and that gives you 34 inches of sleeve length.
And that's normal.
Yep.
34 is like the most average sleeve length you'll ever get in your life.
Yep.
This measurement will vary sometimes because people will have it altered. They will almost always have a sleeve altered to get it exactly right if it's a nice suit. So don't be, like I was telling you, the waist is always pretty standard. The sleeve is not standard, but 34 is a very average number.
Yep.
And fits with a 42 regular. I mean, all of these measurements
are in line. They're totally, yeah.
So I see a lot of resellers measuring just from here to here. That is not correct. That's not, because a dress shirt you'll get, it'll say like 16.5/34/35.
Yep.
That means how long the sleeve is from center back.
There you go, right.
Okay, now last measurement.
Last measurement is the shoulders. And again, you don't have to flip it over. I always do it from the front.
Oh.
That's just me.
Okay.
You want to measure straight across the jacket. You can see on the top of the shoulder, there's a seam where the front and the back of the jacket come together. You want to measure from that spot straight across to the other side. And that gives you 18 inches. So that's your shoulder measurement.
This is so important. This shoulder measurement is, you want to show them? Is so important because some people are broad
Right there, yep.
at the top. And if that shoulder measurement is too small for them and they go to move their shoulders, the back seam will
It'll give
blow out,
Yep.
right? So men in particular are always looking, especially if they're broad up here, athletes, that kind of a thing,
Yep.
will look for that shoulder measurement. If you don't have it,
It's key.
they
It's
are going to come
key.
after you. I need the shoulder measurement, or they're just not going to buy it.
Yep.
Right? So make sure to include that. I always take it from the back. You can take it from the back or the front, it doesn't matter. You just need that, the width of the jacket.
Right.
And a big and tall jacket doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually tall. It could just be wider. It could be for more, you know, what do you call this when you, girth? Girth?
Yeah, it's your, yep.
Of your shoulders.
There you go.
Okay, now we have the pants.
All right. Let me see what the size of this thing actually is.
Ooh, see if you were right.
Come on, tag. What do we got? 40 regular. So that's large. It's big for a 40, which is weird because it's Hugo Boss and they're usually right on. But oh well.
We don't know.
Don't know. All right, with pants, we always supply 3 or sometimes 4 measurements.
I would do 4.
4. Okay, so the waist, you just button the pants, close them as you would as if they were being worn, and you just hold them flat up against the tape measure. So that's 18 inches flat.
Okay.
So that's 36 inches waist.
Yep.
Okay. For the rise, we measure from...
Okay, you got to get in here because people get this wrong all
do.
the time.
They
Get
do
on
get
in
it
here.
wrong. Okay. So
We're all up in this man's crotch.
there's a seam right here where the 2 inseams meet the top part of the pants. From that spot right there, that's you measure.
Okay, not on the butt. See, this part is butt.
Okay.
This is butt.
Right.
So you want this middle seam. Yo, we all up in here. From here, so fold it in. So they
Fold it in.
Yes, there you go.
So from right there to the very top of the waistband,
There you go.
that's the rise. So on this pair of pants, that is 11 inches.
Perfect.
And that's
Normal
average
for a suit.
for a pair of dress pants.
Yep. Dress pants you don't wear them like women. You know, that wouldn't be considered a high rise. It's just where dress pants fall around your belly button. That's
Right.
normal.
Okay. Sometimes we do provide measurements in the hips.
I definitely do.
You do.
Because there are some people, as a costume designer, that got a booty.
That's true.
And they need to know if their booty going to fit in this pants. Because the waist is one thing. My waist will fit, but what about my booty?
Right.
So what you do, you grab it at the widest point. Like this. I go ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
This is about it. Okay? Same thing. And it doesn't have to be exact, but you have to tell them how much room they have to fit their booty.
Right. 23 inches.
That's how much room they have.
There you go.
And they know. I'm telling you. If you got a big booty, you know I know mine. I know my measurement real good. I mean, I'm like, I look, every time I'm buying something online, I look right for the hips because that's the thing that always gets me personally caught up.
Okay.
Well, and the inseam.
Well,
next.
Speaking of.
I know.
So the inseam is the length of the leg, and you literally measure the length of the seam on the inside of the leg. So, start up here.
In the same point that you were measuring the rise from.
Right. Boom, that goes right to 30 inches. So,
These are a shorter pant.
but it looks like they've been hemmed over, so
Yep.
there's probably about 2 inches to
So-
let out.
So we put the inseam, we'll put 30 inches, and then we will put next to it in the description or in the condition field
Yep.
with 2 inches to let out, and you
Yep.
can show them what that means.
So that means they've been taken to a tailor, and
All
they've been
suits basically have.
yeah they've
Come on in
been
here.
oh you can see they've been hemmed to the correct length, and this is really easy to take out and redo.
So if someone needed a 32 inseam,
Yep.
and we tell them there's 2 inches to let out, they know that for $8 or whatever it is, they can go get the suit adjusted to fit them.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So those are the measurements. Let's go over them while you're putting them away. We do the waist, we do the rise, we do the inseam, and the hips. And then also with the jacket as well.
Right, and that's for every pair of pants.
Yep. Every pair of men's pants, the same thing. And for jeans, if they have a little stretch in them, I don't necessarily worry about the hips, but for a suit, for sure.
Yeah.
Next, our
Oh,
favorite.
Our absolute favorite.
I'm sarcastic.
Men's dress shirt.
We really hate doing this, but you know what, you can make some money, so let's show them.
Right. It is what it is. So on dress shirts, you usually want to provide the neck size, chest size, and the sleeve length.
And the length.
Yeah, and the length, overall length.
Because some people are a tall drink of water and shirts ride up on them, or some people are a little bit shorter and shirts go down past their hips and then it doesn't fit. So you really want to provide the length in a dress shirt.
Right. So I'm going to start with it open so I can measure the neck. And you want to measure from where the button is to the buttonhole. I know that sounds obvious, but... So this is right at 18.5.
Do you see why it's important to have a tape measure taped to the table? Because he couldn't do this one person holding it like this. It would be impossible. You'd be like and everything would fall.
Sliding and it would just not.
Okay, so what was it?
It was 18.5.
Okay, and your neck measurements go in half-inch increments, so that makes perfect sense to me.
Right, and this is labeled a standard, what size? This is probably like a letter size, I believe, because I think it's a more casual. But it doesn't matter. You can measure it the same way. Yeah, this is an extra large.
And that an 18.5 neck is pretty standard for that.
Makes sense. Yep. So the other measurements, you do need to button the shirt.
This is why we don't like doing dress shirts. Because there's a lot of time wasted in this unbuttoning and buttoning and unbuttoning and buttoning.
Yep.
You can't measure it without it being buttoned, though.
Nope.
It's just one of the rules of the game.
Yep, and it does, it does
eats into your time. Yeah.
And what's your favorite thing to say about time?
Time is money. Money!
Come on.
And we also find that these shirts sell better when we put them on a mannequin, so there's so much buttoning and unbuttoning happening.
Yes.
A
Come on.
mannequin.
I
still love it. Still never gets old.
So for the chest measurement, like I said, you do want to button it.
Smooth it.
Smooth it all out. All the way. And you want... What do you call this? This shape right here, where it curves out like that under the arms. Mm-hmm. So you want to stretch it all the way out, and you want to measure from the two furthest points.
It's like the socket.
Oh, that's a good word. So from right there, all the way over to the other side, we've got 27. That's a big boy, but 2XL. So,
yep.
Okay.
So they're going to want to know that measurement. Yep. And then especially when you get into 2XL, a lot of people that wear a 2XL are tall. Mm-hmm. So you have to get the length. And I run into this problem all the time costuming people.
Right.
And finding stuff online, they don't provide the length. And I'm like, it'll fit them in the chest, but I don't know about the length.
Yep.
So
again, you measure from the base of the collar. So from right there to the bottom of the back of the shirt tail.
The back of the shirt. Got it? The back of the shirt.
Back of the shirt. 35 inches.
And that is pretty long.
Yep.
I needed something 37 inches a couple weeks ago. Impossible to find. I would have been ecstatic to have a 35.
Yep. Okay. And then
why didn't I have this shirt?
I don't know.
Okay.
And then the sleeve, same way as the jacket. You want to measure the sleeve from the center of the back. So it's a two-step measurement here. So you go from the center right here to the shoulder seam, which is 10. And then from the shoulder seam all the way down the sleeve to the edge of the cuff.
You might want to bring that in a little bit.
And it's right at 36.5.
Perfect.
So this is a 36/37 sleeve.
Yep. And so while this Billy Reed shirt says extra, extra large, we're able to provide more measurements as if it were, this is a casual dress shirt, but as if it were a real dress shirt, and people know those measurements. Men know what they wear. They know their neck. They know the sleeve length.
Yep. So if you wanted to list this as a dress shirt, the size you would list it under would be 18.5, 36/37.
Yeah. And you would note that it's long.
Yep.
Because it's long.
All right, you ready for something easy?
Yay, t-shirt.
T-shirt.
T-shirt time. We can do these. With the tape measure tape, you can do a t-shirt in 2 seconds.
Yeah. So t-shirts, for us, 2 measurements. You get the chest, so the pit to pit, and I just grab it right at the seams and just kind of
shake it out.
Shake it out a little bit. And right on the table. And we are at 21 inches.
Great.
So that's like a large.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fold it in half to measure the back, the length. And again, base of the collar, 26.5 inches. Done.
Done. Love a t-shirt. Love selling a t-shirt.
And those two measurements, we use those two for any basic top.
Any
like
top.
Sweaters, hoodies, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And sometimes people will say, what is the sleeve width? They'll ask weird questions, and you're like, oh, that's fine. Are we moving to women's?
Yeah, man, you ready?
Yeah. So these are women's jeans, and the men's jeans we measure just like we did the dress pants.
Yep.
With women's, sometimes we provide one more measurement. Okay.
Okay.
Waist.
The
Always
waist.
start with the waist.
Always start with the waist. So, again, I know we're being redundant here, but lay them flat. Measure from one end to the other, 18 inches. Double it, you got a 34-inch waist.
Okay, 36. That's
36,
fine.
yes, I'm sorry.
And if it's stretchy, we will include the stretched amount. These are a little stretchy. So we would say, 36 to 40.
Yeah.
And we put that in the description too, because there's a little bit of stretch.
There's a little bit of give.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if I was measuring these, I would be holding them, and then I would right to the hips, right? Hips, widest part, right here.
Yep.
So women want to know this for sure. So I would start, and when you have to put the measurement into eBay, we do half C's.
Yeah, and we always note that we take our measurements flat.
So if it's flat, this is 21, but then in the description I would write, it stretches to 23.
Yeah.
Right? Because it will stretch around your booty. It's all about the booty with the hips. Okay? And then we do, you can do this, the inseam.
The rise and the inseam.
The rise is so important in women's jeans. Get it up there.
Okay.
Show them. Women care
Okay.
so much.
So you've got the inseam, where the inseam meets the crotch seam?
Yeah, man.
Okay. So I measure from this spot right
Yep,
there
exactly right.
to the very top of the waistband.
That's exactly right.
So that gives me 10 inches.
Okay. This on eBay is considered a mid-rise jean. 10 inches is pretty high. So you can pick, because 10.5 is their high rise, right?
Right.
But if one is 10, high rise is a better selling category, to be honest. So sometimes I'll put it in the high rise. It just depends on the jean.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, and then the inseam, exactly the same. So from that same spot right there, all the way down the seam, 27 inches.
So this is telling me, are these petite? What's the size of these?
14.
Okay, so if it's a 27 inseam and it's not a 14 petite, this is an ankle length. And that's what you want to put in your description.
Aha.
Because normal jeans that are not petite are a 32-inch inseam, and these are 27. These are skinny jeans. Whoa. Bring them back.
Whoa.
These are skinny jeans, so there's going to be one more measurement you want to include.
Okay.
And that's the leg width. And you can just measure it really easy right here.
The opening?
The opening of the leg.
Okay.
And right here it's 5.5.
Cool.
And that's important to note. With skinny jeans, the inseams run much shorter than regular, like wide leg or boot leg, because those go over your shoes, right? So this stops at the ankle. A 27-inch on a petite person, it would probably be more like a 25 or a 26. So 27, 28 is a normal average length for a skinny jean. When you get to the boot leg or the flare leg, you're going to get into those 32, even 34-inch inseams on regular women's pants.
Oh.
They get very long. But women are going to want to know it.
Yep. Cool. And next up,
dresses.
And, well, skirts would fall into the same thing. But there you go, dress.
Okay, this is called a shirtwaist dress, meaning that the top of it...
You love this thing, don't you?
I love this dress. The top of this dress is like a dress, like a man's dress shirt, and until it gets to the waist.
Oh.
That's why we call it a shirtwaist dress.
Okay.
We will do a video on different dress styles. I hear you. Okay, we measure the dress at the top much the same as a men's dress shirt.
Right. So again, it's all about having a nice flat work surface where it won't run away from you.
You want to use this one? Some people only have that.
Yeah, we'll use the steel tape. Sure. I mean, it
Doesn't matter.
does not matter. So again, you just smooth the garment out, put that in one armpit seam, move this over to the other, 18 inches.
Okay, so this is a 36-inch bust. I would imagine this is probably a 2 to a 4. You start to understand this. Once you measure enough clothes, you know what size it's going to be.
Right. Like that t-shirt I measured was 21-inch chest. I knew immediately that's a large.
Yep.
Yep.
They're standard sizes for clothing.
Yep.
And I think people make it way harder than it is. It's like, I don't know what size this is. Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Just measure
kinda.
it.
Yeah. So the waist is...
That's at the seam.
It has... Yeah, there's a seam right here, and there's also belt loops because this came with a belt. So that's how I know where the waist on this dress is.
Yes.
Okay, again, just flatten it out. Steel tape, 14 inches.
If it doesn't have a seam, like if it's a shift dress, you measure at the slenderest point, or you can kind of eyeball it. Like, you know what I mean? That's fair. Hips on a dress are very, very, very important. This dress is an A-line dress, so it like goes crazy at the bottom. It's got tons of room.
Yeah, it flares way out.
But if you're like me and you got a big booty, you want to know how much room. So from the waist, go down like I wish I could, like a chunk. Like where your butt would be.
Like a here?
Yeah, like a there.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to show approximately how much room there is to move.
Oh, like a whole lot.
Exactly right.
Like, yeah, 56.
And that's what you would put. Yeah. So somebody will know that it's full at the bottom, and that if they have a larger mid and lower section, then you know what I would also include?
What's that?
Then they'll have room, sorry. I would also include the length, because this dress...
Oh, it has two sections?
It has two sections, and the waist is higher than your natural waist. Some people might want to know I would particularly want to know the length of this, and then the length of the whole dress.
I see.
The length from the waist to the bottom of the collar.
Right, okay, so sure.
And it just depends on each garment. Look at the garment and say, what would a woman want to know?
So yeah, from the base of the collar to the waist is 15 and a half, and then the length of the entire dress is 39.
Okay, so I would put 39 in my eBay specifics, and then they have on the eBay specifics, you can add measurements, add details, and so I would add a new category that said shirt waist length, and then I would list that, because a petite person would want to know, or an extra long torsoed person would want to know.
Yeah.
And that will get your garment sold.
Sold!
They will know. What?
I don't know.
Are we done?
Yeah. I think that's it. I mean, yeah, we've demonstrated on every type of garment, I believe, the key measurements that most eBay buyers will care about.
Yes. And we firmly believe that if you include measurements with your listings, your items will sell faster.
Right. Not everybody will read them. You will still get messages that say, can you please provide measurements?
And do you know what we do? Do you know what we do? No, this is serious.
We resist the temptation to be snarky, and we say, please look at the photos.
No, we don't. I don't do that.
Oh, you don't do? No, you
I
actually,
do not.
No, that's right.
I go to the photos where our measurements are. Show them our little photo board. We didn't do that.
Oh, the wipey board.
We have a wipey board. I go to the wipey board photo in the listing. I look it up, and then I just reply with the measurement.
I
do not... Why am I going to be snarky to someone, right? It's in the listing.
No, I said we resist.
Right, we resist
the
that.
urge to be snarky.
And I just... No, but I'm saying a lot of resellers don't.
Right, yeah.
And they're just like, no, we don't provide measurements. Or, no, I won't look it up. It's on the listing. Read better.
Read better.
I'm like, oh, it takes me 2 seconds. Because we include a picture of this with the measurements in every single listing.
Yeah.
This is a...
It's very high tech. It's a...
9x9 picture frame.
Yep.
Can we put it with the video this time?
What's that?
This template?
Sure. On a Google Drive?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We will include this below. You can just print this out. I have taken the logo off of it, and then you can put it in your own 9x9 picture frame that we got off Amazon.
Yeah, and you just use dry erase markers. It's great.
Yeah, and it has every single measurement that you could ever need. And if you needed to write one to the side, you can just fill it in.
Yeah.
But it's great because the measurements are in your photos, and then if somebody needs to ask, you can refer to your own measurements.
Right.
We also put the inventory number on here in case we forget it in the SKU field on eBay, which I forget a lot.
Which happens. Yeah, it has.
So it's redundant. Happy if you guys want to use this. We don't care.
Right.
We're happy to lend it out.
Yeah, so we hope that was informative. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Join us on the live listing channel, which is linked down below. We live list every weeknight, 7:30 p.m. for a couple of hours, and we have a good time.
We sure do.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.